We are talking about communication. It is necessary in every way, from just after our birth until death. Not only human being, the animals also, they needs the communication. We know the animals, to meet their physical needs or any other needs, animals used to communicate with the opposite. The cows, monkeys, all other animals are communicating each other. We human being, we communicate ourselves in a different and advanced way. My question is that, what is communication? And for the teachers, those who are in teaching profession, teaching job, communication is mostly needed. I would like to ask another question. What we actually do in our classrooms? In the classroom, in the period of 45 minutes, what we actually do? Nothing. We just do the communication. My question is that, what is communication? One answer comes, communication means the connection of two or more persons directly or indirectly. Partially it is correct. Most probably this meanings doesn't cover the whole concept of communication. Communication is a process of changing thoughts and minds. We, everyone, exchange our thinking and ideas. We do it in our classrooms. But what's the process? How we communicate? How we exchange? This involves in this discussion. By this lecture you will understand, through communication, what things we do and what result we must get from communication. We'll understand these things. Communication, we are not going to broader discussion, academic discussion of the communication. We just discuss these things which are very much necessary for a teacher. We know, we basically teach the small kids, the persons, those who are in growing stage. They are growing up, they are building their lives, acquiring knowledges, imparting knowledges and education. I'm not going to the discussion of these things, but I'm telling you the communication in school, our communication is related with the idea, exchange of ideas, thoughts and minds from teachers to students. Is it just among the teachers and students? I think no. We have to exchange our thoughts and ideas among ourselves also. We, the teachers, also have to communicate each other. Students also have to communicate each other. But basically our today's discussion is on how a teacher can develop his communication skills and how he will make an effective communication. Problem is effective communication. What is communication? We can understand. What's the effective communication? We must understand. We must understand what is effective communication. So, communication, not going to the definition, there are lots of definition regarding communication. And the words derived from Latin words communicare, which means the process of exchanging ideas and thoughts. This is called communication. And all the definitions regarding communication, all the definitions expressing these things, that is a process of exchanging thoughts, ideas and minds, that we are doing in our every classes. When we enter into class, what we express them, what we communicate them, what we exchange to them. One interesting thing, communication. Every person is having our separate existence. My head is different, your head is different. Everyone is thinking separately. Thinking, opinion and ideas are differ from man to man. We don't have any way. We don't have any physical connection, any hardware connection in between two brains or among more brains. Then, how the ideas, thinking can be transformed from one brain to another. How we communicate our ideas, how we exchange our ideas from one to another. We are not extending our lecture to the other animals, just telling about the human beings, how they communicate. What are the skills of communication? Basically, we are speaking. By speaking, what I am doing? Speaking, basically what I am doing. The thinkings in my mind, whatever I am thinking, my ideas, I am exchanging with you. Means what? Ideas from my brain, from my mind, it is being transformed, transmitted to your brains, to your thinking process. So, communication in a source part, there's two parts are there in communication. Source part and receiving part. Those who are getting communication, it's receiving part. Who is communicating, transmitting the informations, exchanging the informations, source part. So, in receiving part, it is come into our thinking process as input. It is called input. And in the source part, communication is output. So everywhere if we find each and every phenomena, each and every activities, each and every human action is related with communication. Nothing except communication, just communication. In my one lecture I have told you, everyone is having his own picture in others' mind. About me or regarding me, you do have a separate picture. Likewise, all the person are having their own picture, own image. How the image build up. Whatever I have communicated to other throughout my life, and it will picturize my identity. So communication, it is clearly related with the exchange of my ideas, clarifying my ideas. By communicating our ideas, our thoughts and minds, we are expressing our identity. Actually, what I am. If I am a knowledgeous person, by communication, I try to establish it. If I am a good person, honest person, I try to establish this through communication. Communication means my output, my activities, my action, keeping in mind that so that people will understand what I want to make them understand. I do each and everything, I do all action, keeping in mind that people will understand that much only, whatever I would like to make them understand. And in every classroom, all the teachers do it. And where the communications is not effective, class cannot be regarded as fruitful and worthy. Then, what is an effective communication? Communication is not a single in process, single side process. Communication is both side process. From source end and receiving, I have told you earlier, the source end and receiving end. There are two ends, two sides, source side and receiving side. The two side is involved in this process. From source side, I am trying my level best. I am trying hard to make you understand. But in receiving part, result is zero, then it is not effective communication. If the result is zero in receiving part, then it is not effective communication. So we have to measure to convince myself or ourselves that I am communicating effectively. I am doing effective communication. To convince myself, I have to evaluate the receiving end, whether they are receiving properly or proper portion they are receiving or not. Proper and effective communication depends on it. Many times we have seen the people used to talk and people used to deliver, but they do not care for the other part. They do not take in account whether the listeners are listening or not. Why these things happens? Because the communicator is not much aware of this two end. My effective communication must bring a certain change in receiving end. Must bring a change. A certain amount of change I have to see in my receiving part. An orator is delivering lecture, but the audience are not attentive and listening very well. Is it good orator? Is he a good orator? No. One thing, a person try to make other people understand, but no one is understanding whatever he is trying to make them understand. It is not effective communication. This communication will be fruitless. There will be no fruit. And though during the class period, nothing we have to do, we just create an environment of communication. We have to do an effective communication during this 45 minutes. We have to notice, we have to see whether my communication is being effective communication or not. Then how you will understand your communication is effective or not? This is the main question. How we come to know whether my communication is effective or not? We know the various skills of communication, various system of communication. What are the communication way by which we communicate? Types of communication. How we make the communication? How we can communicate by making sounds. We can communicate by passing signals. We can communicate by showing pictures. We can communicate by showing videos and all. So communication can be of how many kinds? One important communication is audio communication. Just audio. You will not. Now what type of communication you are receiving? You can listen and see me also. You can listen and see me also. This is best method of communication. But sometimes communicator may not be present before the receiver. The communicator, as a human being or living being, communicator may not be present in front of the receiver. So there are so many techniques or skills we can use here. So three kinds of communication generally we get: audio communication and video communication. So audio communication, we just using our hearing organs. We just hear and nothing we can see, and there is no use of vision and eyes. For example, now you can understand from my sound and at the same time simultaneously my body language also. What I am trying to say, what I am trying to deliver before you. You can understand by seeing my body language also. You have to pen at least. So I have not mentioned any number here. Yes, I have not mentioned any number here, but you understand how many pens you have to bring? Two pens. How you come to know? By seeing my signal that I am showing you 2 fingers. That means you have to bring at least 2 fingers with 2 pens with you. So I have not pronounced the word, the sound 2, but you come to know that you have to bring 2 pens. From where you get? You are getting this from my body language. This is called body language. In technical term, it is called body language. So I am moving my hands, moving my feet, expression in my face. So seeing this expression, we can understand. Seeing this expression, we can understand what communicator trying to make us understand. What a communicator trying to exchange his idea. What ideas he trying to exchange. So body language, this is also important, and these things are used in visual communication. Visual communication, we can show the pictures, we can show the books, we can show any other instruments. So these are used in visual communication. And another communication is audio visual communication, where the hearing organs will be used and vision will be used. So it will be more effective communication if we use 2 organs, listening and at the same time our vision. So that is why audio visual communication become very important, very popular nowadays. Since beginning it is popular, but audio visual communication is very much popular. But we can take the help of other instruments, other tools and skills. But basically we are talking about the personality, whatever is related with the personality of a person. We are talking about this. So these things are related with instruments and any other tools. To do an effective communication, what a person keep in mind. This important thing. What things are to be kept in your mind when you trying to do effective communication. Sometimes we generally speak. One practice I am trying to show you. If I twist back and talk to you, I think you will get my sounds, but you will not understand my actual expression. From your consignment you may understand. For example, I am twisting back. Are you okay? You understand what I am telling. Again, I am doing. Are you okay? 2 meaning comes from this 2 type of expression. So in sounds we can stretch and light. We can do stretch and light when we pronounce words. Water. Water. 2 meanings are there. Water, please. Please, without pronouncing the word please, from my expression I can make you understand that I am requesting you to give me water. If I want to express my annoyance, bore, water. So these are contained with our pronunciation words. So body language is very important things.